Simmi Areff joins us in studio.
He knows more than you can imagine.
Is President Barack Obama a Muslim?
Because you know it's going to be a zoo.
It was already a zoo.
Did anything happen while I was gone? Haven't you noticed the whole place is on fire?
Let me tell you why you're here.
But they can only speak in question.
Are there side effects? Or?
Just diarrhea.
My first guess is...
Simmi.
Knock, who's there, this guy?
Lesser Known Somebodies.
Welcome to Africa's 8th best podcast with me, Simmi Areff, and today you can see I am in a lovely studio. Not only am I in a lovely studio, I have a very high-profile guest. Today I have Duduzane Zuma. He is the son of former President Jacob Zuma. And basically my first question to you, Duduzane, welcome by the way.
Thank you very much, Simmi. Good to be here.
Thank you so much.
Why 8th? Why are we on 8th?
You see, the problem is that I gave that the slogan of the podcast when I first started.
Right.
And then we went up to 3. And the brand was already built. So now I can't go back. I can't now change it. I don't want to lose trust with my listeners. So I kept it at 8.
Got you.
But my first question to you is, after this interview, does the State of Capture Enquiry contact me or do I contact them? What's the protocol? Because I want to speak to DCJ.
All right. I think it's simple. I mean, you're an Indian gentleman.
Okay. Okay.
Surname is not Gupta, is it?
No. You would know, though. No. You would know.
No one's going to call you. No one's going to call you. You say.
Damn
you
it,
say.
bro. Because you know me, I watch State of Capture Enquiry
Yeah.
every single day of my life.
Okay.
That is my thing. I can even tell you who my favorite guests are. I call them guests because they always keep on coming back. My favorite guest was Mrs. Kwinana. Hey, Mrs. Kwinana was my favorite one. Mrs. Kwinana, Brian Molefe.
Okay.
You know, people don't give Brian enough credit.
No, they don't.
I was being very sarcastic, but
No,
but
I'm being serious.
You being serious?
I'm being serious.
Is Brian Molefe one of your favorite politicians? Can I tell you why he's
not a
one of my
politician, I
favorite?
think as a professional. He's been in the game for a long time. If you
I
look at his
always
history,
call him South Africa's hardest worker. Can I tell you
I'm
why?
waiting for the punchline.
Brian Molefe works hard to pay for his family's DSTV. I tell you that, man.
The reason I say that about Mr. Molefe is if you look at his track record, it speaks for itself. You know, people will want to boil it down to the past 4 or 5 years of what they believe happened. And if you look at his history in the PIC and how he's really built the PIC from where it was then to where it got to. As a matter of fact, the parastatals that he took control of, Eskom and Transnet, I believe he did a fantastic job now.
But don't you feel like that you're meant to say that?
No, not at all.
I think there's a lot of things that Brian Molefe did where I'm just like, oh, that's a bit
look,
itchy.
we all make our mistakes. So if we look at the actual factuals, if you compare,
Can I tell you my favorite Brian Molefe quote was, I think it was by Benny Ngubane, when he was crying when Brian left Eskom, and he said, Brian is a good man. And you could feel that he was being very honest when he said it. But every journalist in the room was like, come on, my man, please.
And now, for me, it boils down to facts. If you take snapshots of the time he was in and what he did with the team he had to his predecessors and people that have come after him, I think it tells a story in itself.
Okay, cool. That's a lovely little introduction before we get into the meat of things. Guys, I just want to let everybody know that I'm interviewing this guy. I'm having a conversation with him. We're chilling. I'm not, because sometimes, I told a couple of friends that, hey, I'm going to do this interview with this gentleman. And they're just like, whoa, you got to watch out. Don't clean him up. Don't sanitize him. If he's done something wrong, you should tell him. I said, okay, you know what? People do things wrong all the time. I'm still going to converse with those people as well. You think I haven't spoken to criminals? 3/4 of my friends are not criminals. 1/4 of my friends are.
All I can say, Simmi, to that is, unfortunately for you, you cannot sanitize me. I've been doing that on a daily basis, like everybody else.
And social distancing. Congratulations!
Wow.
Wow.
So I'm not concerned. We have to have a conversation. Okay. I appreciate that you've taken the time to have me on your platform.
I appreciate that you're here,
and
bro.
I'm looking forward to whatever it is we need to speak.
Okay,
about.
let me go straight. I want to talk more about your childhood. I know that
let's talk about something else.
I want to talk about your childhood. I know you got a twin sister.
I do.
Yeah?
It looks nothing like me.
I know Duduzane.
Okay.
And not personally, I just know. She was you and her were on a cover of a U magazine. That's how I know. Or a picture in the U magazine. One of the two. But you guys were there. Because I'm a big fan of U Magazine. So I'll tell you that right now. U Magazine, if you do want to sponsor this podcast, Lesser Known Somebodies, brought to you by U Magazine.
You're not shouting out Huisgenoot?
Oh, shout out Huisgenoot. We'll translate into Afrikaans for you, my guys, please. So, here's my first thing I want to ask.
Yes, sir.
Twin sister, Are you guys telepathic?
Definitely not.
How do you know?
I don't think we've ever been. We've been on separate pages for the longest period.
Do you think you guys, like, are you sure? Are you sure?
100%. I say she thinks otherwise, but I think we definitely.
You don't think sometimes he gets a feeling in her gut and she's like, Duduzane is doing something stupid right now, man. Yo, why is it hurting my liver?
That's because I'm there poking a stomach saying, I'm going in.
So are you guys close?
Not as close as I'd like us to be, but I think
Why is that?
I think it's natural evolution. It's progression. It's growing up. We all live separate lives. I mean, she's got a kid, she's got a family. She's doing her thing. I've got my kids. I've got my family. I'm doing my thing. We're living in different parts of the world, and it's just evolution. That's just what it is.
And
There's nothing wrong with it.
Because you've got quite a few brothers and sisters.
Yeah. 20.
I mean,
I've lost count.
Who's counting?
I've lost count. Let's see what happens this year. Let's see what happens. I don't want to speak too
who's
soon.
counting?
Someone might just correct me after this interview.
Like one of your kids are sitting at home, then the uncle walks in and like, yo, this is Uncle Thomas. Who's this one now?
You know, the interesting thing is the way it's always been broken to us. And it's culturally, it's an interesting thing. It's not one of those things like, yo, Simmi, come sit down, family. This is a situation. There's a newborn here. No, it's not that.
No, just pitch up one
You're
day.
out there, you're in Kanja, family gathering, whatever, end of the year, holiday, and kids running around, and you're wondering,
Who's who here?
who's little homie?
Is it,
you know?
And this is all in Nkandla?
Most times, yeah.
Okay,
Most
here's my
times.
next question.
Yes,
What
sir.
are we using the fire pool for?
Yo, all white pool parties. All white pool parties.
Wow. I'm very scared that a journalist takes that bit out of context, but they put me
They
over
always
there.
do. But I mean,
Can I tell you my biggest fear of this podcast? I'll tell you my biggest fear
Go
of this
for it,
podcast.
go for it.
Me, I'm speaking to a guy that I've met
Yes, sir.
just now, literally. And I'm scared that some type of media publication takes a quote out of it, but then they go on popular comedians podcast, Simmi Areff. He spoke to, I was like, don't mention me. Whatever he said, use that. Leave me out of
I'll
this.
be referencing. I get any question, I'll be referencing.
Don't. Me, I'm scared of the law. I've been arrested. I don't want that to
What were
happen
you arrested
again.
for?
Hey, bro, do you know what they call me in the streets?
I'm listening, man.
Choki.
Okay.
But the full name is Choki Metakoki.
Okay.
What happened was that I was staying in my flat. I used to stay in Kilani, and
Nice.
we had a caretaker who was very racist. I'm going to say his name now because he's dead. Mike Culk, fuck that guy. Straight up, fuck that guy. And he called my dad a racial slur, and I got angry. And he ran just where the
What did he
camera
call him?
was. Called him the C word. Coolie,
Oh, okay.
you know?
Okay.
And first it was a bit upsetting because half of my ancestry doesn't even come from India. Like my surname is Areff, which is an Arab name from Iraq and Iran, but it happened to go through India and come through to South Africa. So that's why I could never be a Gupta because, I mean, they legit Indian surname. Me, I'm just like Areff. So he ran below the security camera, and then I put my hand up over there on his neck, and next day the police were at my house. They arrested me. It was a jive, though. Made friends I tell people I went to prison. They said it's jail. I said, I don't know the difference, though. But I tell
You
people.
got incarcerated either way.
Bro, I applied to be a card-carrying member of the ANC directly after. Like, I got struggle credentials now, my G. Who's beat? I've got to just beat Mandela, your dad. I 27 years, 16 years. I just have to beat a couple of guys and I'm in the mix.
Did you drop a mixtape?
I wish, dog. I wish, dog. I was already Muslim, so I couldn't even convert to Islam because that's a popular thing to do when you are in prison. Like, yo, I'm here now. What can I find to do? Islam. So yeah, so I've been arrested.
That would have been an explosive mixtape.
I mean, dog, I can't rap.
See what I did right there?
I can't rap. But before we started this interview, I heard that you could rap.
No. I enjoy rap. I enjoy a lot of genres of music. Rap is definitely one of them. But
You grew up listening to Tupac and that and stuff?
I grew up listening to
Because I mean, you grew up in Maputo.
I grew up in a lot of places.
Yeah, Maputo, Zimbabwe,
Zambia,
and
South
Impangeni.
Africa. Yeah, Impangeni.
Have you been to Malawi, dog?
Malawi?
That's the most beautiful country in Africa.
I understand. So I've got some good homies that live there, that have moved there.
Yeah. Do you know what they call a hippopotamus in Malawi? Vu. Yeah, the shortest word ever for something so long in English.
Okay.
Yeah, bro. Okay, so.
But I'll definitely be
Maputo-
checking Malawi out. At some point.
Definitely. Maputo, Impangeni, Zimbabwe, Zambia,
Yeah, Harare, Lusaka, and that's just what it is.
and Kandla. I've got a question I want to ask you though, but it's about your dad. It's got nothing to do with what's going around with him. But the one thing I do miss when Jacob was president was that, we had a fire time on the timeline on Twitter. Oh man, we had gags. I mean, there was not a moment that would go by. It's because I want to use the word brazen, but I mean, Cyril doesn't give us that type of thing. Even like his State of Capture Enquiry stuff. It was very boring. It was a lot of hype. Rather give me Brian Malefe round 4. Give me the good stuff. But when Ubaba was there doing the things, he has a line. He said once in Parliament, "You come with meanders, I answer with meanders."
With meanders.
Right? Now, you're the closest person I know to him.
Yeah.
What's meanders?
I think meanders is people that like flame grilled chicken. It's Nando's with some mayonnaise on it.
You are lying.
No, I'm joking. I don't know what Nando's is. I've never asked him. I saw the clip and I'm like, yo.
You need to ask the timer. You need to be like, hey, my man, did you just make up a word here?
Look, the way he was speaking, the way he explained it, this is my assumption. If I haven't asked him, I won't lie. Is the way he made his head and hand movements.
It looked like a snake.
I think it was meanders. So speaking about, when a river meanders or road meanders, and if you're asking me and you're going round and round, so I think that's what it was.
Oh, that makes total sense now. And growing up, was he always around?
Growing up, he was always moving in meanders. He used to meander a lot. He was. It's interesting because he was there, but he was never there. He was doing his liberation struggle thing like many others were doing. It was a tough time. He had to watch his movements. He was doing.
Did you have to learn about him from a distance?
Yeah, I think it's the way that it happened is because this is what he said to me. These were his ground rules for life, to me at least. I don't know anyone else. He gave me a few simple rules. One, because his younger brother, he passed away many years ago. Babji was a professional boxer, and and my dad can go. He can go stick fighting, boxing.
He knows how to fight.
No, he knows he's a fighter. And he said, whatever it is that you do, I never want you to fight professionally. I never want to see you in a ring. I'm like, dude, that's before I even started having interest in full contact sports. The second thing is he never wanted me to own or ride a motorcycle.
Yeah, that's a very good rule. Is your dad a Muslim mother? Because that's literally every Muslim mother says, no, that's a graveyard on wheels.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about. And the third and final rule is whatever it is that you do in your life, do it. Feel free to express yourself, but make sure you stay within the confines of the law. So to put it simply, I've owned many motorcycles in my life.
Yeah. Oh wow. This guy, come on, man. You only give you 3 rules. Bro.
I haven't fought professionally, but I'm right.
I have fought professionally.
I can
go.
Go.
Semi-pro.
And then the final thing is,
so you give you 4 rules.
No, the third one. I'm just expanding. The third one is, stay within the confines of the law, and I've gotten myself into the pigs.
Yeah, bro. That's what I was about to say. I was just like, yo, this guy's giving really bad advice.
No, you said it was good advice, but just advice that unfortunately didn't apply.
In fact, I think you heard wrong. He said stay in the confines of the law, but if something does happen, take it on review. Always take it on review. If there's an opportunity to review it, click that button. We are ready.
That's our constitutional rights, man. Fight it till the end.
Hey, bro, I'm all for constitutional rights. But what happens when things are exhausted? Because our dad, I keep saying, is our dad. Your father, because like just now, my father is father's on a Times Live article, going, "Hey, Simmi's father's involved in this thing." Okay, your dad now. Arguments were made recently in the Constitutional Court for 2 years imprisonment.
Yeah.
And there's no other court to go after that.
Yeah, sure.
That's the one.
But I think if you look back as well, just the remedial actions, I mean, they've been adjusted specifically to this case, which is interesting to me. Secondly is, there are 2 parallel options. Well, there are 2 options and they run parallel. The one is the State Capture Enquiry. And the reason I'm speaking with authorities is because I've been in that position. Yeah. And then there's a judicial process.
I watched your thing when it first came out. I wanted to be there. I couldn't. I'm going to give you, honestly, a 6 out of 10. Cool. I think you were very cool there.
Yep.
But I mean, we could have added a bit more spice. I mean, I know you gave DCJ Zondo a thumbs up when you were explaining Gupta things, but I mean, come on.
What did you want? What do you want?
Hey, my man, when I watch, come on, dog. When I watch the state capture things, I want juice.
There's no juice. That's the thing. People are expecting fireworks. There'll be no
Hey,
fireworks.
Norma Gigaba hit us with a 10 out of 10.
No, but
my man, I skipped mosque. To watch her thing. People were praying. I was like, Norma Gigaba's on and her makeup is melting.
And you were fasting. You were having popcorn and a little slash.
So, because she only started later on in the evening. So I could replenish myself when she started. So I gave you 6 out of 10, but continue.
But what I'm saying is the State Capture Commission is not is not for the tabloidy type stuff. That's serious business, you know?
Of course.
But anyways, so there's the judicial process and there's the state capture, the inquisitorial process. Excuse me. And at some point, my argument was, because I appeared, I was asked to appear, and initially I was like, look, I don't think I should, because the basis of what the commission is to come up with remedial actions and to give guidelines on how these matters should be taken forward, prosecutions, non-prosecutions, whatever it is. I was sitting within the context of a court case. I'd been charged and I'd appeared before at the Specialized Commercial Crimes Court.
Yeah.
And my question was, okay, I hear you have no problem coming to, but I'm coming to you. The only recommendation you can make is getting me to be charged and to run I'm already there. So I feel like I'm going back.
Do you have a gangster name? Because I got Choki. I think
Choki, are you by any chance Cheeky's cousin?
No, I'm not Cheeky's cousin.
I'm just saying.
I'm Choki on my own brand.
There's Choki, then there's Cheeky.
Bro, I'm my own brand,
videos.
Dog. Choki, these streets speak about Choki.
You're not throwing anyone in the bush.
No, dog, that's Chiki Lamba.
I'm just checking.
Oh, I remember Chiki Lamba. That guy was a skit. Yo, I'll never forget that video. If you guys are listening to this, right? Chiki Lamba was a Muslim cardboard gangster.
You better back it up, Choki.
My man, I'm fine.
You better back it up.
I'm fine.
I got people in Lodium. You're going to ask me, I'll say,
dog, me, I'm safe. I got a backstop. Me, I'm okay. You think this mouth comes free? You think I just roam street speaking?
Okay.
Me, I got backstops.
Okay.
I won't talk if I didn't have the backstop. If my backstop was in another country, you won't hear from me. But Chiki Lamba once pulled up a guy, because this guy was speaking to Chiki Lamba's girlfriend or fiance. But the guy that was speaking to her was her cousin. And he kept on saying this. And in the car, he had a guy in the back who was a colored dude with a very racist name that they gave him.
Bushy,
yeah. Which is horribly racist. And the guy in the passenger seat is a guy who's died now. His name was Ziad Jannu. You have to say it like that. If you don't say it like that, he comes back to life. So he was there. And I just remember them pulling out a gun. And I remember the lines that killed me. Chiki Lamba said, I've got more money than you and your whole family put together. I'll put you and your father in my back pocket.
That's right.
Which to this day, I don't know what, I've never heard it said before. And then Ziad Jannu kept on saying, do you know who I am? I'm Ziad Jannu. And then Bushy, out of all the characters, says, put him in the bush. Put him in the bush. And I was like, guys, come on, man. I was like, yo, that was a bad week for Muslim people in general. In general, it was funny.
I hope none of your backstop are like that, like those gentlemen.
No.
Otherwise, you got
my
problems.
backstops, they laugh at my gangster name. They laugh at my gangster name.
Choky with the coke.
Yeah, because these guys have been gangsters for a long time and none of them have been arrested. They said, I've never been a gangster and I'm the first person in their crew.
All right.
Confessional,
a mixtape that we are putting together here. Continue, please.
Okay, well, my thing was just like, so do you have a nickname like your dad does? He's Msholozi.
Msholozi is not his nickname, actually.
Okay, it's his.
It's a clan name.
Clan name.
So the way that it works is it's known as a Tagazelo, which is a clan name, and the way you get your clan names, they're based on your ancestors. So Msholozi would have been a great grand
ancestor's
father,
name,
brother, whatever. Yeah. So
there are many. One.
I get called the same clan names, but from my side, so Msholozi. Mapuma Pet.
I want to be called Sahara.
Malala. You want to be? I don't have a gangster name. I don't have.
You don't have a gangster. Yeah, but I mean, if you're rolling through and they're like, there's Msholozi over there. That's a sick gangster name, dog. That's a cool name to have. Yeah. Like, there's Msholozi. Me, I wanted to be called Zahara.
That name's taken, Chief.
I know, dog, but she hasn't done anything in a long time. Because, like, you know how Msholozi got Mshiniwam? I'll have Loliwe.
Okay.
Which I recently learned what the lyrics mean. If you guys don't know, Zahara is a popular singer.
Yes, great.
This is for all our overseas listeners. All the people in Brazil and Russia, anybody that's part of the BRICS movement, anybody of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa.
Yes, sir.
This is for you. Sahara had a major hit song called Loliwe. And for years, I used to think it was Zulu for lol. For years, I was horrible. And then I realized it's a train. And she's calling a train. And then the way she sings it, because she'd be like, Loliwe. I was like, train, dudula, Loliwe wahi, train, dudula. I was like, nah, man. Okay. I want to go to my next question because I want to get all the tough stuff out the way so people don't come to me on the Twitter streets one day and be like, oh, yeah, you didn't ask him any hard questions. Okay, cool. Yeah. The thing is, wrong guy. I'm a comedian. You literally asking the wrong guy. Literally call up your favorite journalist and say, yo, get a hold of this guy. Me, you asking the wrong guy. I tell jokes. So here's my thing. Gupta brothers, have you been to the compound?
What compound?
I mean, their house, Saxon World, man.
Can we just get it right? It's a house. It's a house like
it's big, my man. Let me tell you something. When brown people live in a big plot like that, it's called a compound. I know what Osama bin Laden lived in. I've seen it with my eyes. They didn't call it Osama bin Laden's house.
I've seen it with my eyes.
They didn't call it his house. When the Navy SEALs, when the Marines got over there, they didn't say, oh yeah, we're going to visit this guy's house. They call it the compound. My man, let me tell you, I got a story about the Guptas, right? One of my friends stays on that same road as them.
Okay.
And just before the wedding, the one where they got people to land at Waterkloof.
Allegedly.
They did land at Waterkloof, man. You can't say allegedly. You can't say allegedly. They did land. We've got photos. Now you're pulling out the Zuma card from nowhere, my man. You can't hit us with the Zuma tactic. We know.
I'm going to have to review what you say.
I wouldn't be surprised. So here's my thing, right?
Yeah.
They're inviting people to the wedding, people from the street. Of course, it must be one of the Gupta ladies. Because when it's like Diwali and stuff, they always used to send like sweetmeats and stuff. And my friend that was staying over there got invited to the wedding and they gave out an iPad as the invitation. The invitation was on the iPad. Do you know how baller that is? That's why the other day, I got so upset. I got upset at AJ Gupta. I got so upset with him. When Norma Gigaba was at the State Capture Enquiry, he's talking about her wedding, right?
Yes.
And she said that no, AJ paid for their honeymoon. I got so upset. You know who I felt for? The guy that bought the toaster off the wedding registry. He went to the wedding registry, he bought the Smeg toaster, and then he gets swooped in by someone getting a honeymoon. I'll be livid. My man, I'll be swearing so much. If I'm eating the dalgos over there, and someone says, oh, you know what AJ did? He got the honeymoon. He'd be like, what? I got a Kenwood toaster. I'll be so upset, dog.
See, my question to you is...
Oh, I love it when the guests ask questions.
No, it's I get asked about the Gupta brothers all the time. And about Jay-Z, Not
you can call him,
No,
you can call him dad.
Jay-Z.
You can call him dad. It's okay.
Yeah. I always get asked these questions. And I mean, I always wonder why.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're past that. And I know it's our first engagement, so I'm not taking away from the fact that you haven't had the opportunity to ask me. But I feel like there's greater things.
Well, I can tell you why people ask you. I mean, it's clearly obvious. I mean, like you talk about the commission and stuff, but they go, okay, these are their dealings and who are the people dealing around with them.
Yeah.
And your name comes up. So when people ask you, I mean, I know I've just met you, right? So I'm asking you more in a jokey sense, but I'm sure legitimate sources.
Yeah, sure.
I know that they asked you at the inquiry.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's not a question that it may irritate you at some point.
No, not at all.
No, I'm saying that if I was rolling in your circles all the time, and then every day when I saw you, you'd be like, yo, can you tell me about, then you'd be like, my guy, you my friend, I'm your friend. Why? But I can understand why people ask you.
No, that's it. Look, it's definitely an FAQ, and I have no problem answering that question or being asked it.
So back to my question.
Yes.
Have you been inside the house / compound?
I've been inside the house,
Okay.
of course.
Please,
In the building.
use detail because no one knows what this house looks like, guys. We've heard about the house. We've called the different names. I just want to know, tell me what color, are there tiles there? Is there wallpaper?
It is. It's like any other house. It's like any other house on the street. You got a home.
I've got my home, dog, but I got parquet flooring. I can tell you, my house got parquet flooring, cream walls. It's got a veranda door that's skew. It's got a kitchen island. I can tell you all these. That's the details that I want. I would say, okay, you drive in. You know that famous gate that they got over there? The one that all the people, when they protest, because, one day the residents of Saxon World, just specifically Saxon World, got very upset. It's like, yo, we're going to show these Guptas We'll show them why we're upset with them and they came with their, the thing is when white people protest, they suck at it. I will be honest, they suck at protests. Like there's no songs, nothing. I've been to a DA protest where they're singing Kumbaya. So
I disagree with that. There's 3 old ladies, the golden.
Yeah.
Come on, they were singing now.
and then your dad made fun of them. Yeah, wow. Imagine being laughed at by the former president of the country. Yo, the embarrassment I would feel. Zuma must go. And they had their own thing. But
they had a move.
But I'm saying that's compared to other people's struggle songs, that's shit. People like because I grew up in Durban.
Yeah.
And like youths, when they used to like do student protests, like you'd hear guys sing songs like Bawo Tingosomandla Buyintodu Bubanga. It's like any person in a South African protest that like came from Durban could easily be in Boys to Men. Easily. They knew everything. But I'm saying, so they're outside. We've only ever seen outside. We've seen that gate of the house, of the Gupta residence, as they call it. You've been inside. So now you get in your car. Yeah. Hey, Kulega, we're getting there now. So you park your car. Do you also come with a CPO? I just recently found out that the CPO means the bodyguard. Do you have a CPO?
I'm out here. Did you see any CPO?
No, you didn't see it. That's exactly it. Okay, so you came by yourself.
Tell your listeners.
Yeah, bro. No, okay. Duduzane today came to the studio to meet me. No entourage. No fanfare.
Tell them, dog.
Had a mask on. Because it's socially distancing and observing COVID protocols.
Yes, sir.
And you see, we're recording in the studio and they've got a glass window and people are looking inside to see what it is. And every single person I can see out of the corner of my eye going, hey, that's our guy. Because you are a popular person. But back to the house. So you go over there, you park, you get inside. Is there a foyer?
Like most houses, yes.
Hey, no, don't say most houses, dog. Most houses don't have foyers, dog.
It's a house. It's on the street. It's built like me. It's got a kitchen. It's got rooms. It's got furniture.
And when you get in over there, is there someone be like, hey, what up, Dudu? What up, Duduzane? How's it? Or do the Guptas come and be like, yo, Duduzane, how are you? Do you shake the hand? Do you kiss the ring? What's the protocol on that thing?
No, those are my brothers, man. We chilled.
I know, because the famous quote that you said about Tony,
yeah,
which, to be honest, out of all the Guptas, it's like you didn't choose Ronan Keating from the Boy Zone. You chose the other guy. He's like, it's just Tony. He's like, he didn't even have a cool name. It's like all of it, like AJ Atul Tony, like Tony Montana. Tony. So you go, so Tony would be there, and he'd be like, yo, what up, Duduzane? Do you want to come chill by the pool? Then would you go chill by the pool? You're just saying it's a house.
I've got my own pool. What am I? I don't just sit.
Yeah, dog. I want to know. I want to know when you
look like I need a tan.
No,
no. So what would I be doing sitting by the pool on a random Wednesday afternoon?
No, dog. I just want. You see, for me as an artist, as a comedian,
yes, sir.
The thing that I love when I listen to people is their stories, because in the story is the detail for me, and I could care less what judgment people pass on people's stories. I dig stories.
Sure. So from my side,
from your side,
I respect it and I appreciate it. The stories that I tell, I can only tell from my perspective as I experience them. That it's my intellectual property.
Yes,
I can't speak about someone else's. I don't know whether they want to keep their stuff private or not.
Yeah, of course.
They'll speak on it. Now I'm out there giving away. Yeah, it's a security risk or whatever it is. Not just
they're not even here, dog. Don't worry. There's no security risk.
I'm just them and anyone
else. Even the guy that works over there. That's why I give my leftover food. Because every single time I drive past, and my car always makes the same sound when I drive on that speed bump. And one day I had to pull over. Then the guy said, do you have business here? I was like, at an empty house. No, dog. He's like, do you have any food? I said, yeah, I've got leftovers.
This is a true story.
True story. True story. I used to have a girlfriend that used to stay just down the road.
You might just get someone fired.
Hey, dog, this podcast isn't big enough to get someone fired, my G. No one's listening. No, the 30 people that are listening right now, part of the BRICS nations. Congratulations. Yeah, dog. So I'm just, because I get fascinated by those type of things. I honestly. So I'm a big fan of South African politics.
Yes.
Thank you. I put a lot of time into it. Not a lot of people have watched as much State of Capture Enquiry and JJ Tebane as I have.
Yo,
it's bad. It's bad. I heard him say a line a few weeks ago that absolutely killed me, where he said people are getting the vaccine. He said people are dying young. He said Martin Luther King, 38, Jesus Christ himself, 33, 70 and 80-year-olds. What are you doing here? It kills me. So I'm saying that I love details. And it's not often I get a guest of your caliber, at least, where I can ask the details.
No doubt. Let's take it back. Childhood.
Okay.
Let's start there.
Okay,
Right.
childhood.
Let me explain.
Tell me, let's be specific in your childhood. You don't have to tell me about growing up because I've heard other people's interviews with you. I know where you've grown up, but I want to know, how do you think your childhood has affected you as an adult today?
No, that's a great question.
Thanks, bro.
It's set me up to understand what the world is, and you've traveled. I mean, it's traveling, expanding your horizons, experiencing, and having a global outlook as part of being a South African, a young South African. It changes your whole perspective on how things are done, what should be done, what's right, what's wrong, because we have certain barometers and yardsticks to measure from. And unfortunately, for a lot of people that don't have the opportunity to travel for various reasons, they get stuck in this in the rut of thinking they know what is right, and it's actually not the case. And that even speaks to our politics of where it is today, where people make certain decisions, people have certain conversations, and they really don't understand how the world really works, and the consequences of what is said and when it's said. So growing up outside of South Africa, the interesting thing is, I'll break it down if you give me a few minutes.
We're not rushing to an ad break here, my dog. This episode is proudly brought to you by...
Yo.
We've got all the time in the world. Dog.
Cool. So, born in Mozambique, and I remember my childhood very clearly. Went to what is called, and it still is there, international school. So it's the first experience of mine of the global community. Right. I mean, that was in the context of Maputo, people that haven't been. Beautiful country. Unfortunately. And
in the context of apartheid, is where a lot of our struggle icons had settled down. Yeah.
It's unfortunate what's happening now with the insurgency, but, those are problems that will be rectified. International school is the first time I experienced people from other parts of the world. Portuguese was my first language. So you're experiencing people from Norwegian people, Danish, say from Norway, from Denmark, from Malawi, Kenya. And we were the only South African kids there, and the strange thing is, as much as we were very young kids, everyone else in the school looked at us and like, yo, those are the South African kids, and purely because of what was happening in South Africa from that time in history. And I remember my love for motorcycles actually developed at that school, playing soccer on the open field.
Hey, listen to your father, my man. Stop loving
motorcycles.
No,
I'm just saying, so they're great, Joe.
Hey, they're great. Your dad, please gonna have one.
Liberating. It's freedom in action, in movement. So I see the big homies rolling through. On that time it was scooters. And, they had the girls on the back, I was like, oh
wow.
Yeah, it's
very James Deanish.
I was like, yo, that's what's up. And that's the first time I actually, I don't know, it just caught me like, yo, that's cool. So the international community from a young age, I mean, meeting kids from Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, and it's a whole melting pot of kids. That was my first takeaway on how the world is. Grew up in the streets, ran around.
Oh, the streets are calling.
Man,
the streets are calling, my G.
Right?
Yeah.
And it was a very good upbringing. It was a very simple upbringing. There's a lot of people that exist in the business sector now and political sector that I grew up under, who are big names now. Names like Rob Davies, who was a former minister of DTI. I'm not sure, but I mean, grew up in his house with his kids, Joey. I remember he used to ride a motorbike.
I think that's the problem with all of your friends so far, bro.
Rob
I think
Davies.
The easiest way to get to Duduzane Zuma is to get him a motorbike. Like, to be honest, so much easier. It'll be like, yo, hey, I've got a plan. I need to get Duduzane to fund something. How are you going to do that? My guy, I own a Harley Davidson, and he loves motorbikes.
All I'm saying is, Los Pistoleros.
Look at
I'm just saying. You got me, Joe.
Okay, Narcos. Okay. So you reckon all of that type of stuff shaped your adulthood?
Definitely. It most definitely did, because the first time I experienced racism was when we came into South Africa. Living in Zimbabwe, living in Zambia.
That's a very true thing that you said, though.
It was like, yo, they were advanced at the time. Advanced in the human interaction dynamic, emotional EQ, everything. And when I got to South Africa, the first time I heard racial slurs.
Yeah, but that's because the part that it was institutionalized.
Yeah, which is cool. It was a system that existed. But I mean, as a young kid, you don't understand it. And it's like, it's there. You can see it. It's structured. And it's like, okay. And when I say everyone was cool with it, not that they were accepting it, but it was like,
yeah, it was,
it was
I got a short story to say about that. Yeah. I used to love, I was a big cricket player when I was a kid.
No way.
Yeah, bro.
As an Indian guy?
Oh, shut up, dog.
I wouldn't have thought. But anyway, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, they used to call me Hashim Amla of Westville boys. That's you know, the Anil Kumble of KwaZulu Natal. So I used to dig playing cricket.
Okay.
And I'll actually fucking mention him. There was a guy called Robbie Freilink.
You are snitching on
bro.
Your landlord now who
with not my caretaker. Fuck that guy. Mike Culk. Fuck that guy. Hashtag fuck Mike Culk. He's dead now. I've never been happier. Honest to God, someone told me I was at my favorite coffee shop and someone said, yo, do you hear that Mike died? I was like, Mike who? Like, Mike Culk. I was like, oh, there's a God. There's a God. So, well, I shouldn't be saying this because the guy that's recording this podcast, maybe he's related to Mike. Marco, if you're there, I'm really, really sorry. Mike is a cool guy. So, I was playing cricket and Robbie Freilink had dropped me down from the B team to the G team. Only because he got insulted by one of the things that I said. And this is what happened. I was sick one day. My mother wrote a doctor's note for me because she's a doctor. Had them on hand. I was nice enough to ask her to write it. I didn't do the writing myself. And he said, who wrote this? So I said, my mother. And he said, yo, your mother has bad handwriting. I was like, okay. But she wrote it. He's like, yeah, what was your mother smoking? I said, dog. My mother's a medical doctor and you're a post-matric. Calm down. And like the other kids laughed. So he dropped me from the B team to the G team. Okay. And then when he used to do the coaching of the G team, he used to make me bat last, never bowl. And, as a brown kid, you go back home, you tell your parents, and the first thing they tell you is like, yo, we're just happy to be at these schools. It's a Model C school. So just study hard. So you lose that thing. Go ahead a decade. One of my friend's brothers has the same similar problem. And his dad goes to the school to speak to the teachers. And I was like, I didn't know that was an option. I don't know, because some of those things are institutional. Like, he went there and he said, yo, this white coach is making my brown son not play this game. And it's affecting him mentally. What are you doing about it? And they fired the guy. I didn't have that option. I didn't even know the option probably existed. But I know that my parents didn't know about that type of institutionalization. Yeah. So I understand what you're saying about that.
My only takeaway from that's a great story. My only takeaway from you and the other gentleman you mentioned that took his father to speak to. You guys are untalented cricket players.
Wow, dog. What an asshole.
That's my takeaway from your story. That's my takeaway.
Bro, what an asshole. You guys just said I'm a horrible off spinner. Bro, I used to bat 5 and bowl off spinner. Hey, you could not beat me. I was bowling Dusras way before other people. I was giving that ball air. Yeah, it was a good time. Okay, cool. So now that's your childhood done. Cool. Now you're back home in South Africa. Yes. Currently. I listened to a lot of the interviews that you have, and you always talk about that you went into business and your father went into politics, of course. But do you remember a time, or do you have a memory attached to a time where you realized that you come from a political family? And this is a leading question into your political aspirations.
Cool. I do, and it's interesting because the very same childhood, there's a lot of political activism happening. I mean, not just in South Africa, but elsewhere with the different cells that existed for whoever, the ANC, SACP, UDF at the time, and other movements. There was something called the Young Pioneers, which I was a part of, and it doesn't exist anymore. And what it was the Boys and Girl Scouts of the ANC. That's what it was.
Oh, the Young Pioneers.
Young Pioneers.
What a cool name.
Straight up.
Who gave the name, though? Because we remember when Sassel had a soccer team, we called them Amaglu Glue. And you're like, oh, come on, man. The Young Pioneers is what we needed.
Pioneers. It must have been. You guys must have been sitting in Robben Island like, yo, man.
we need a name. Someone get a paper. From who? Kathrada. He's writing all the time. He's writing all the time about his reflections. Ask him for some pen and paper there, doc.
You have to put young because you're...
Yeah, you put the young Pioneers. Yeah, send it through. Okay, yeah, so you're part of the Young Pioneers.
The Young Pioneers. So literally Boy Scouts, khaki uniform and like the scarves, ANC. So it was us being introduced to what politics was, but the soft stuff. And then there was a lot of, so at that time it was VCRs and VHSs. So the political schooling was done in that manner. So you're sitting there, we wanted to watch Mickey Mouse or Michael Jackson videos, but there's times where we watch these videotapes.
Like, no, you're going to have to watch some videos now.
Oh, this is what's happening.
Bring out the ANC video. Your long weekends must be shit at your house.
I'm telling you, but we did have a VCR though, so it's all good.
Yeah.
So you watch these tapes, and that's where you start seeing these faces. Guys like the Chris Honeys, Black Consciousness, guys like the Nelson Mandelas, guys like the Joe Slovos, the Jay Naidus, and man, I even saw Trevor Manuel out there, and Alan Busak.
You know how crazy one night, I don't think your father was president. I think it was Nelson Mandela was president. Thabo Mbeki was deputy president, but they were both outside the country, and Trevor Manuel was Minister of Finance. And that means for at least a good 24 hours, he was president of the country.
Sure.
And let me tell you, the whole of the Western Cape celebrated that day. It's called Independence Day there down in Cape Town. It's June 26th. It's celebrated once a year. Yeah, but continue.
So, and I used to see his face in some of these, but it was always the background.
Yeah, but what do they teach you in the videos?
No, it was just, so it was rallies, it was messaging, it was police brutality, it was the right to freedom. So it was on Winnie Mandela. So it was listening to speeches, but like it was footage that was captured, and the footage of the 76 generation type stuff, kids being shamboked and rubber bullets and all that sort of stuff. And the scary part is you tune into the news every once in a while. You feel like you're living back then because it's still happening now. It's a crazy thing, which says a lot.
But here's a question I have for you, right?
Yeah.
Because when we speak about your political aspirations, I call them aspirations because I actually can't find a quote where you outwardly say, I want to be president of the country. It's always the question put to you, and you always say,
whenever the ANC chooses to deploy me.
Exactly. That's exactly that. So here's my question, right?
Yes, sir.
This cloud of suspicion, growing up in the ANC, seeing what the ANC was back then and what the ANC is now, and under the assumption that you want to make your political movements inside the ANC, right? And knowing the stigma that comes with your surname currently. How do you plan? Because you often talk about in your interviews that you want to unite the youth, the country. South Africa is the most unequal country in the world.
Correct.
How? It sounds like words. That's to be honest.
Sure.
To be honest, it sounds like words. It sounds like political rhetoric.
Yeah. So it's definitely not rhetoric because I'm not a political rhetoric guy. I'm not the guy that pushes narratives and that sort of thing. So the way I look at it is, I walk a certain line, and my line has always been unification, bringing people together. And it's not even just racially; it's just different sects, different kinds of people. That's what I've done. Excuse me. That's what I've done my whole life. So I'm saying, if we can't do it within our own circles, now we've got our homies that are white guys, whether it's Jewish, whether it's Anglo-Saxon, whether it's Afrikaans, our Indian guys, Muslim, Hindu, Tamil, black guys from different cultural and traditional backgrounds, Venda, Pedi, Tsonga, whatever it is. If we can't get that right within our own circles and showcase it to say, guys, if we don't have issues with each other and we've been able to coexist socially, we've been able to coexist commercially, why can't we get it right on the larger scale? So now the issue that I have and why I've decided to say, you know what, let me stick my hand up. And there's no cloud over my head. There's no cloud of suspicion. There's been also...
But surely your surname is associated with a cloud of suspicion. That's the reason why, because if you look at anything, I'm just playing devil's advocate over here.
Yeah, sure.
Not your advocate. I'm sure he charges a lot more. I'm playing the devil's advocate who's got me at a cheap premium, like legal wise, clientele. That's what I'm. Desmond Dube is about to appear. If I saw Desmond Dube in the courtroom and I've got a charge, I say put me in jail. Please, that guy cannot help me. So here's my thing.
Shout out
you
to
say
Desmond Dube.
Shout out Desmond Dube. So you say all of these things, and it sounds It sounds very PR-y.
No, not at all. Because now
it does, bro. You're talking about unification in a country that has
what
mass inequality.
So what you need to understand, and what the listeners need to understand is, and this is why I've veered away from a lot of engagements, just like platforms, and I appreciate that we're doing this, but I don't want to be that guy that's known for talking. So you'll see a lot of times I've always shied away from podiums and all sorts of stuff because I don't believe that's where the action is. We are people that are doers. We are doers. That's how we've lived our lives. Even in our business trajectory, we've done things. How people see it, how they view it, their questions, and that's beyond my control.
But specifically with regards to political aspirations,
getting to the surname,
yeah,
right? and
because that's the biggest issue. If your surname was something else and you were some strange son,
sure. But not, if you look at it, then we have to be honest with ourselves. I'm honest with myself. The Zuma surname has got its positives, it's got its negatives.
Of course.
Right. So there's places where people raise an eyebrow like, oh, and there's other places like, yo, what's up? Good to meet you. Let's do something.
I've met your dad a few times, and he's the most charming person I've ever met. I've got a story. I had a friend at university when I studied in KwaZulu-Natal. Guy hated your dad, bro. Talking about hate. This is like, I think your dad's rape trial was on at the time.
Okay, that's why.
Yeah, which is a thing that I also get upset when people talk about it because I'm saying it's also acquitted. So it's, when people go like, oh, he's a rapist. But I'm just like, yo, okay, I believe in the law. So whatever the law says, I have to follow. There's a guy that hated your dad. Hated him, bro.
Okay, we heard you the first time.
I'm trying to paint the picture to the listeners. The guy don't like him. And I said, you've never met this guy.
Sure.
I was doing a gig. I started stand up and I had a gig. It was a Gateway. And I actually came too early to the gig. A whole day early. Me and my friend used to roll around with me. Right. And they were having an NC.
No sexual impetus.
No. I just came. No. I came.
Just
like
clear that up. Here, people are listening.
Early, right?
People are listening.
And actually, there was an ANC function over there. And now I'm going to bring you this lovely piece of information. My uncle is Shabir Sheikh, right? And for lack of a better idiom, my uncle Shubs and your dad was the Kiss Thieves. You know that? So I'm saying. So I'm saying, look how history repeats itself.
Straight up.
But I'm just trying to get my ducks in a row first, because if I do something wrong, I'm hoping for a presidential pardon one day. So my friend meets him. Okay. I say, oh my gosh, that's Jacob Zuma. And he speaks to us. Must be for about 18 minutes. And I can honest to God tell you, my friend, when we got back into my car, I was just like, I can't believe I said so many bad things about this man. It's charming. And you have that. I've seen you have it. I've seen you walk through streets and people take photos with you. I've seen it. I've seen challenges where people go like, it's the Duduzane challenge. You have that fanfare. But back to political aspirations. You have Zuma. You have the surname Zuma. You have what the media call the Zuma 9 years. You have all of these things, people. We've got a whole State Capture Enquiry. You've got your, for lack of better wording, people saying that your dad runs away from the law, and they take that feeling and they place it on you. Yep. And then you come and tell me about unification. No. There's no unification inside the ANC currently.
But let me put it this way. Once again, I cannot speak on behalf of my father. I'm not a spokesman. I do love him. I do respect him, and I'll always support him.
And if he is looking for one, please tell him my contact details. I'm available. I can twist anything. I'm very good at speaking.
Looking for one what? I think you say
I'm looking
wife.
For a spokesperson, Doc.
Okay, spokesman, not wife. Okay. He's got me here.
I am looking for a wife, though. If any of you guys are listening, girls out there listening, please holler at your boy. I'm 33 now.
So there's a discussion of legacy. Okay, you're coming in and you are springboarding off a surname. On the other hand, it's how are you going to do it with this cloud that exists? It's going to negate whatever it is that you're trying to do in life. And I'm saying, for me, it's a simple thing. I'm walking that journey. What people say and do it's beyond my control.
So now, you can't change their view.
I can't change their view.
But would you like to change their point of view?
The ones that have the interest in changing their view, they will change it. They will. And this is what I'm saying. And then they'll get to know me. They'll get to understand me. So there's a one specific point you made on the way that the legal challenges have come, the court cases, State Capture Enquiry, him, what do they call it? Taking the what do they call it? The Stalingrad approach.
Yeah, Stalingrad approach.
Yeah. I haven't done that. I don't know why people are talking about
That's exactly my point. That's exactly my point.
As much as I was 6 out of 10 on the commission, goddammit, I was at the commission.
Yeah, that's 100%.
People said I ran away. I didn't run away. I had to leave because of different
100%.
And I've come and now how am I supposed to explain to people? So I'm sitting here, and people will say, yeah, but they always want me to advise why don't you advise them to people take different strategies when it comes to how they approach the legal
framework. To be honest, I don't think you could ever advise your dad. Your dad is a very astute politician.
But that's the point. I actually said it a few days ago, and I said, dude, what am I going to teach him? First of all, he's my father. He's an elder to me.
Yeah.
Right. Just,
yeah.
Flat out. And secondly, he's played the game. Who am I to advise him? Yes, I can have a discussion and say, let's look at doing something differently. But for me to say, hey, chief.
Hey, listen here, my man.
Let's go. I'm coming to pick you up tomorrow morning. We're going to the high court. I'll represent, and it's just like.
I must say, dog, I must, State Capture will show you things. It only comes in small nuggets. But when he kicked down from Braamfontein, I was like, with the timeline is back again. The timeline is back. And then whoever does the PR for your dad, God bless them. To hit those statements out at 11:35 at night when we're all asleep or watching UEFA. I must give that guy a round of applause. That guy knows what he's doing. I love that.
So my thing is simple. I've faced whatever adversity, whatever allegations, and I'll continue to. I haven't run away from this. You're here. So. You know what I'm saying? So for people to say, I've done that. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it's the end of the road. Mm-hmm. People are going to say what they're going to say, and I'll approach it the way I need to approach it.
Yeah.
That's why when I say there's things that are in the past, I want to move on and say, how are we progressing from this point?
And do you have a plan?
Always got a plan.
Oh.
Even if I don't have a plan.
Then you're just going to say it?
So, yeah. We always win.
It's come to my favorite part of the show, right?
Yes.
I generally ask my guest to ask me any question. But I think that would be a bit pointless. I mean, you can take up that option if you want to. But is there anything that you want to get across, bro? Because I feel like a lot of people, when they speak to you, they have every question to ask. And I'm sorry, I don't have any listeners or callers that call through and be like, Simmi, you don't ask about this. You don't ask about that. I only have so much time, guys. Also, I only have so much brain power. Also, I get tired. Why are you putting this obligation on me? I keep on saying, phone your favorite journalist, guys. They will help you. They will find a way to contact this guy. You can ask him yourself. He doesn't have social media, so sorry for you. But sort it out yourself. It's come to my time. Do you want to ask me anything? Do you want something to say? Because I feel like they don't give you that platform to say something.
Yeah, I'll if I may.
You may, sir. You may,
both.
Sir.
I'd like to ask you something, and I'd like to say one or two things as well. The first one is, and I'm just throwing the ball back in your court. Right?
Please.
Your experiences. Mm-hmm. Simmi Areff, we've got it, but you are aligned to what is probably one of the most famous or infamous families that have existed in the South African dispensation after 94, the Sheikh family.
Yeah.
Your experiences growing up and the challenges that that you guys have gone through because you've had similar issues in the past. And, you do have a big family. You have very astute, very experienced uncles and aunties. Who fought the battles, and they're still relevant in the system in their own ways.
To be honest, only really one of them, is like my Uncle Mo is the guy. Other guys, they just pitched up at Lutuli House afterwards. I'm not gonna lie.
Were you there when Uncle Shabir was beating people with a golf club at the?
Hey, my man, we heard about it.
Is that your backstop? Is that your guy?
That was my backstop. Someone actually came up to me once, bro, and you mentioned it because you talk about like families and the experiences that you have from a political family. And I wouldn't go necessarily because my Uncle Shabs is my dad's half brother. They look exactly the same. Right. But
handsome guys,
bro. Handsome guys. And charming.
No, for real.
True story. I just realized that when I was in matric and my uncle got convicted, I remember the teachers giving me a day off at school because I was hounded by like guys going, oh, your uncle's a criminal. Man. Oh my God. You go home and as a kid, you're just like, and I say like 16, 17, you're still a kid. I've only really formulated opinions in my later 20s, So you go like, that's a shit feeling.
It is.
But yeah, back to
that feeling. Let me just put into perspective. some of us have been having that feeling from around 96, 97 up until now.
Yeah, it must get to you.
It hasn't stopped, and it's one of those things where it's consistent. That's why when I speak about it, people think I'm being insensitive. I'm saying, guys, this is not a new thing. It's coming along, and it gets tiring, If you're going to convict the guy for, or myself, let me speak for myself. If you're going to convict me for whatever allegations, and then do it. But don't arrest me and not have your ducks in a row.
Yeah, it's hard to dangle a carrot in front of you.
100%. This process, and you affect us. You affect our livelihood.
Yeah.
You affect our persona.
I mean, take it today, bro. We went to go buy water. You don't have a card.
Straight up, yeah.
Like, you can't go to a bank. I was laying hard. I was showing off with my Capitec.
You pull it out like
I was like, phew, take this.
You pull that card out like Zorro.
Yeah, it's got 150 Rand on it, but pay for the 27 Rand 44 cents water. And I still looked at my guy. I was like, yo, I know you're a Zuma, but this one's on me, okay? They're never going to find a way to blame you for this water. You didn't steal the water. I've got it. It's on me.
All I'm saying, what you've just done is you've put us in the firing line.
I'm sorry, Doc.
You've just, what happened with Uncle Shabir and
No, I'm sorry,
This is the beginnings of a generally corrupt relationship.
Yes! This is what I wanted. This was the whole point of my interview, to cement myself. What does every politician need? An Indian guy to back them up.
Straight,
of course.
yeah,
yes. Wrong guy though. No money. No money. Just vibes. But yeah, so continue.
Yeah, so it's one of those things, and people don't understand the effect that it has. And it's fine. Then it's not for them to understand. But people need to also get into perspective that we're human beings at the end of the day. We've got lives that we lead. We've got families that we support and have supported us in the past. And things get to us, So when people look at us and, the first thing people say, but you're busy enjoying your life. And it's like, nah, dude, you were not, you were not there when my accounts were closed. You're not there. And, I'm not trying, I'm not finger pointing or anything, but I'm just trying to say, I'm a person that takes the good with the bad. If you're going to throw the mud at me, you've also got to point out the shortcomings that are not, that are unfair to me as well, so we can have a proper conversation and say, as much as this has happened, as much as we have seen that you've been accused of A, B, C, and D, you've stood your ground. You've gone through the process. You've been arrested, charged. Charges have been dropped. You've appeared here and there. Guys, can we tell the story? Because it's a story that's at that point. Right now, I'm a free man. That's why I'm sitting here. And people are acting like I'm still, no, there's nothing.
Yeah.
If new charges come and we'll deal with it, So it's just, it's unfortunate, but it's human nature and it's cool. We understand that.
Bro, if you don't have anything else, thank you for being here.
No.
Okay.
Ask the question.
Take it away, Doc. Take it away, Doc. I'm ready. I can answer most things.
Capture. This is easy. Capture the state will capture the studio. You know what I'm saying? That was a joke. That was a joke.
Please, DCJ Zondo, please do not
confession.
email me. But I can't tell you, bro. Sometimes I just apply to the State of Capture Enquiry just for NJ's sake. To go like, hey, do you guys want to hear? I've watched everything. I know
I can
so
break it
many
down.
things. I can break it down for you.
Executive summary.
I just, because I want to be like, hey, guys, I just want Advocate Hofmeyer, please stop shouting at me. These are the things I want to say. Also, who's the sound engineer for this gig? You can't put a sign up that says move mic close to mouth. Why does the DCJ have to say this all the time? Plus, I've got the perfect handkerchief to wipe the sweat from my eyes because, they put the spotlights on the people.
Like it is in here.
Hey, my man, I can't tell you. If you can organize a way for me to be at State Capture, maybe put my name in a document in Yana. I'll give you my ID number.
Brown envelope.
Yeah, me, I cannot tell you. There's nothing I want to, there's two things I want to work in. One is Gift of the Givers, because they do some great work.
For sure.
And I want to, State Capture, I want to be there. That's why when they extend the date, I go, okay, I've got time. I go to the corner street and start bribing people.
I say what I say in jest, State Capture, we understand that there's issues that need to be resolved. And whatever bodies that are instituted to deal with those issues, they must do their work, When I speak from my own personal experience.
We understand that.
And that's it. So, I'm not mocking the State Capture Enquiry and the issues that exist around the reasons why the commission was set up. But the one thing that I want to say, before I leave, just to put one or two things into perspective, so people just.
Oh, I've got such a banging question that popped into my mind though.
You can ask, before you forget it, because I know what I want to say.
Do you think there was State Capture?
Do I think there was State Capture?
Yeah.
There's been State Capture. It's existed
That's whataboutism. I know state capture existed before, but I want to know, do you think currently what the inquiry is looking for, do you think that is state capture? And do you think they'll find it?
No. Why I say that is if we're serious about digging into the issues of corruption, where it exists, who's part of it, we need to turn the table over completely. It can't be done in a segment. It can't be done in isolation with regards to everything that's happening, everything else. Once again, I'm not sitting saying, because I'm being charged and investigated, what about Simmi? No, it's not what I'm saying. But if we're saying, guys, there's issues of state-owned enterprises, of favoritism in whatever form, way, shape, or form that it exists, the timeline needs to be the timeline. Because if you think you're going to deal with state capture based in the period of 5 or 10 years, come on.
Okay, good question. But now back to finally, this is the longest last segment ever, but I'm so in it because I can see my guy has something to say in his eyes.
No, from my side, what has led me to this point to say, I've always been a person that I prefer being part of a solution than being the guy that's always talking about the problems. Right? I've taken a look around. I'm sure you have as well. And every time I've taken a look around, it's like, no one is stepping up. I'm not saying no one like I'm now some
you're
superhero. No, it's not what I'm saying. When I'm saying, there's an opportunity. As much as there are all these issues that exist, it's an opportunity that exists in South Africa today to get things right, to reset the way we look at things and the way we think, our attitudes, our mind frames, the way we engage each other, to redistribute. Right? There's a lot of things that needs redistribution, not just the wealth, ideology, humanism. We need a spiritual revolution up in this mofo.
Oh, wow. Mofo.
Oh, I'm a bad man.
I'm a bad man.
Okay. And then to rebuild. People think that we are a few steps away from the feces hitting the ceiling.
Wow. Well, you said mofo, but now you can't say shit hits the fan. Wild.
We're there. Right. And it was always going to happen. I don't care what people say. And the reason I'm saying that is, and as you said earlier on, South Africa is a very special place in the world.
It's also the most unequal country in the world.
Correct. The level, and that's exactly the level of inequality. And exactly, if you look at something like the way the lockdown was instituted, in my view, and I've said it on record, that I think it was wrongfully managed.
Hey, my man, I had a good time.
Yeah, but because you have Netflix. And, you know what I'm saying? And most times we can't take what is done in Europe, in parts of Asia, Far East, North America, and implement it here. It doesn't work like that. It'll work in certain sections, but otherwise,
it may not.
Down the line, we've seen it, and those problems still going to catch up.
There's lots of people that suffered from the lockdown.
So that the inequality thing is the main reason.
But I mean, I don't think. I mean, like it's also a bit harsh because I mean, nobody really had a plan. There wasn't like a modus operandi.
No, for me, I'm clear. Lock down the borders. So stop the.
And it's also not like China was sharing their plans. They weren't like, yo, guys, you want to see how we fought?
No, but we can do it. We've got the right to do it. We've got the right to do it.
I just love it because every single time my guy speaks and someone walks past and they notice him, he does this thing with his hands, the praying hands emoji, and he greets them. He's like, yo, thank you. And then I just want to look if the people also go, yeah, that is him. That is him. Because maybe they're going someone else. Maybe like, this guy's speaking to Lungi and Gidi. Yeah, how's the IPL going, my man?
Mr. Areff, what do you want me to do?
No, but my man,
want me to do this?
Please. I don't have enough fans that
you
come
want
and
me
to Okay, cool.
Sorry. I need to make this point.
Make your point, Doc.
Yeah. So, locking down the borders, of course, stem the spread from coming in. That is a no-brainer. Within the country, you cannot tell people you can't get up to go to work. Can't do that.
Yeah, it was tough there.
Manage it, right? Okay, social distancing in your modes of transportation at the workplace, sanitize, mask, all that. Cool. But you can't tell people that depend on that day they wake up.
Yeah.
That earning translating to what is put on the table, the food that's put on the table. You can't do that.
You know what I love the most about lockdown, bro? Made everybody a Muslim girl. There was a curfew. You had to cover your face when you went out in public. I felt people got closer to Islam. That's what I felt.
We're in the middle. We're in the middle of a war, right?
And it's raging. What?
Right?
A war on what?
Oh, war on terror.
Bro, you're sounding like you sound like it's iPhone versus Android. What is this war?
No, we're in the middle of a war. You know,
Are you talking about a political war?
We're talking about a political and mainly an economic war. We're in the middle.
But we've been in an economic downfall for over a decade.
Yeah, downfall and a war, two different things. Why I say this is purely because of how politics is now directly in confrontation with the commerce, that runs the country, so the economy. And the reason I say that is, if you look at what's happening, nothing is happening in isolation. If you look at things like the step aside rule,
Hey, but guys must step aside, Joe. That's if you're corrupt. I mean, it's easy.
Yeah, but I can't say sorry.
No stress.
I can't say, Mr. Areff, step aside because you're corrupt. How? No. This is what you did. You still.
Oh, but if there's prima facie evidence, guys, I'll step aside. If I'm caught, if I'm boppered, oh my man, I kick down.
But now there's a difference between being boppered and being
assumed to be boppered.
Yeah. Two different. Because now, if I say to you, hey, Chief,
but also
now I'm gonna step aside knowing I didn't do it.
Yeah, but
how does that work? So everything is now we're just charging each other up and down. But that's not the point.
That's a good move though. If you guys are thinking about trying to do that on my podcast, trying to making me step aside, it's not happening. But I understand what you're saying. But I think also when I was listening to Kai FM with Sizwe, hey, see the fans. Hey, the fans are here. Hey, hello. I hope they take photos of me also, and I also hope they go like Shabir Sheikh's back. You see, that's my guy. Hey, yeah, I'm taking a photo. What up, dog? I hope he knows who we are, though. Honest to God, I think you only take a photo of you anyway. So here's my thing. Sizwe said it nicely.
Wait, Chief, you're taking
okay, Chief. Okay, go through.
Sorry, we're interrupted by the wonderful family outside.
Yeah.
We appreciate.
So you don't agree with the step aside rule?
I completely don't agree with it.
Okay.
If you're going to step aside, you need to be. The burden of proof is on the accuser.
Yes.
Innocent until proven guilty. What happened to that?
Yeah,
you can't just be walking around.
But don't you think the bonus mores of society also change sometimes? Sometimes this innocent until proven guilty thing gets in the way.
How?
Firstly, let's use I hate using rape or sexual assault.
Okay.
Right? Believe the victim, right? Not the accused. Because the accused would use the argument of like, hey guys, listen, I'm innocent until I'm proven guilty.
And what about the false and I'm not trying to make light of the
situation.
It's a serious thing.
But I'm saying that maybe society now needs to deal with the different legal bonus mores of that. Maybe they need to say like, okay, cool. There's certain things that are innocent until proven guilty, and other things
so there's a book that was recommended to me, and the
Holy Quran, and I think you should read it.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. The book.
It was actually recommended to me by a gentleman. His name is Kaya Young.
I know Kaya.
Yeah, so
I don't know him personally, but
I'm giving him his shout out because he's the one that recommended this book.
Shout out Kaya. Please also respond to my emails about having you on the podcast. There's no better time for me to ask that.
Straight up. The book they recommended is a book called The End of Power.
Mm-hmm.
The author is a gentleman named Moises. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing correct. Moises. Naim. Naim. He's Chilean, I think. So he right now, what he does is he travels around the world and he advises governments and institutions on various issues. But what the book is, what it details, is how absolute power is no more.
Yes.
And the reason why absolute power is no more over the period of history of mankind and how mankind has engaged in human and public and private interactions has caused a spiral out of control for what power is. And that would be in the sense of economic power, corporate power, and political power. As a matter of fact, as well as within personal relationships. So things like as you've spoken about, sexual assault and how that has affected workplaces, corruption, fraud, malfeasance, whatever it is that exists in the corporate environment, on how that has watered down the power that a CEO would have, has watered down the power that a chairman of the board would have, has watered down the power that a president of a country
would have,
or whatever would have. Why? Because all these things that have happened have all gained critical mass where we're sitting today, and no one can have that absolute decision to make, or shouldn't, because of these Monica Lewinsky, Bill Clinton type situations, and other things that may have happened. So the reason why I'm mentioning that is because I feel like that is where we are today. And this is when I speak about the warfare that's happening. We don't hear the bombs going off. There's no tanks rolling around, but there's a raging war in the background that is happening. Everything from the step aside, which speaks about how the judiciary is set up and how the judiciary has come as one of the pillars that are relevant to our society, and the role that they play, and how...
But a very important role.
Very important role, but how the judiciary is affecting politics and commerce. And the reason I'm saying that is, as much as the judiciary is important, we're all human beings, right? Judgments are quoted; they become part of the appellate division. Yeah, 100%. And if a legal precedent is a wrong legal precedent, and then what?
But that's why you have courts of appeal. That's why you have a constitutional court, which have like 12 minds that will look at it.
Okay, so now let me pose a question to you now.
What do you? Okay, I've been waiting for it.
Yeah. So if I'm sitting in and I say, through my experiences, I feel like my constitutional rights have been infringed. Would you agree with that? Infringed upon?
Yeah, I support it.
Yeah. So how can
then you take it on appeal, right? Or are you just saying that your constitutional rights, you feel they are infringed?
Yes.
Well, then I'd say get a lawyer so you find out
more.
No,
but now the thing is, how do you attack the problem? Because this is one of the reasons I'm trying to get to is, if I speak about bank accounts closure. Yeah. Okay. Politically exposed person or politically influential person.
And banks don't give you a bank account.
Yeah. And reservation of rights.
Yeah.
Those are the reasons I've been given. I'm just being open. There's nothing else. So I'm stuck with that.
But you have lawyers, bro.
I've got lawyers.
Yeah, so I'm saying, so they can fight it legally for you.
Fight it legally?
Yes.
How? Starting where?
So they would go first.
They've told me, Chief, for example now.
Yeah. Are you trying to tell me that there's no civil case with no precedent? I mean, I don't practice law. But I'm sure that
neither do I, but I mean, this is
but I'm sure this is a legal thing. I'm saying I don't think that there's no recourse or there's no options that you have.
But why my thing is, I'm just trying to keep it as simple as possible. My accounts shouldn't be closed.
I agree with you. If you're not convicted of anything, correct, your account shouldn't be closed.
As a matter of fact, if I had to walk, there's many banks out here. If I had to walk in now with you,
I know, like I said, I bought the water.
You know what I'm saying?
I bought the water. My man is poor. He don't have money.
Unbanked. I form part of the unbanked majority. Yeah. That's just the truth. But the point I'm trying to make is there are those sorts of things that happen. Dr. Iqbal Survey with
the independent media
accounts being, what the hell is that about? So what I'm saying
not my favorite guy though.
Look, for me, it doesn't matter. All I'm saying is there's legal precedents being set, and there's people's rights being infringed upon. Right. I'm not saying love him, don't like him, but
do you need Desmond Dube's number? Because I feel like maybe you're not getting the right counsel here.
No. What I'm saying is there's a system, and as much as there was a system that existed historically that institutionalized certain behavior. Yeah. We're seeing at a point where that system still exists, and that's why I speak about this warfare that is raging. And if we do not resolve these issues, we're gonna have a problem. You and me will not be able to sit here and have this conversation without people walking past and smashing these windows. Why? Because the level of desperation, based on the people that are in positions of power right now, who are supposed to have done certain things, and we can't leave it all in their hands. And that's why we're saying, we're stepping up to say, we need to do this. We need to be able to say, guys, you guys have tried. You've had some wins. You've taken some L's, but we cannot allow you as people you're not fit for purpose. And fit for purpose is you fought a liberation struggle. We respect you for what you've done. You've done it very well.
But it's time to go.
That's just we'll draw from your lessons. But where we are at today, we need a new kind of soldier. That soldier to take the battlefield on, because to place himself on the battlefield to fight that fight. So because we've gone from the politics of liberation in 94 to the politics of race. Right. Yeah. Gets to a point where if you're black, you're expected to vote a black party. If you're white, you're expected to vote a white party. If you're pro-black, it means you're anti-white. If you're pro-white, it means you're anti-black.
This is where I want to say, please, guys, don't forget to vote for UDM. Bantu Holomisa deserves to be in a better place, guys. That guy is my G. He was a general. Bantu Holomisa. That guy knew what was going on. Mandela loved that guy. That's all I wanted to say. That's big UDM fan over here. Shout out UDM. Shout out UDM.
To Mr. Bantu Holomisa. Yeah. President Mandela loved him. He's the one that kicked him out of the party.
Yeah, the one that kicked him out of the party, though. That's exactly it.
So we've gone from the politics of race, and we're at the most dangerous place. Yeah. We're at the politics of class right now. Yeah. So it's the haves and the have-nots. we've seen the history repeating itself, and why should we let it repeat itself here in South Africa at this current stage in our history? Because if we do not check this problem today, not tomorrow, now, Chief, we're going to have a civil unrest in this country. Why? Because you are keeping a majority completely out of the system. And it's not about, no, because we have, there's this fiscal, this and that. No, if you're not letting, build up the middle class, let the black people rise.
Okay.
No one is here to take anything away from people. And
I agree
why
with you,
say unify?
And that closes the inequality gap. Can I tell you, I actually have a solution to
one thing.
This is the last thing.
The last thing.
This guy is charming when he talks. I can feel like I'm being seduced.
This is. I've got a ballot paper in my pocket. The unification thing that I was speaking about earlier when you asked, is it rhetoric? No. The unification thing is you have on one side, and on one side is not just one political party, in the ruling party as well. You have people that speak about that are spewing hate. The reason why we're in this situation is because of them.
Yeah, I've seen the comments on the State Capture Enquiry YouTube feed. I've seen them.
The reason
the RET members are there, my man.
It's RET. You can speak about other political parties, whatever, where people are being made to march up and down on empty stomachs and nothing ever happens. We're staying away from that. We're saying the one solution that we have, and this is the journey that we're embarking on this from this point onwards, is we're going to change things. It's going to happen. I don't care what anybody says. Mark my words. The change is coming, and we are going to be the people that effect that change. Why? Is because we can. I don't need permission to do the right thing. I'm doing the right thing. We want to pull people together. This whole black and white thing, and it's not going to work. If we think we're going to build this country without white people, forget about it. People can write whatever they want in threads. Not going to happen. And if white people think they're going to build this country or keep the status quo as it is and not include black people in the economy and raising up their socioeconomic conditions, it's not going to happen. That time is gone. So we want people to pull together. If we're not going to work and get it done, because we're not saying, hey, I'm not here to say, give me what you have. I'm saying, Chief, this is the situation. These are the laws. Let's fix some of these rules and regulations to make it easier. The ease of doing business, the ease of people being involved in the economy to come through. That's one. And two, you guys understand the game. We're here to learn. Some of us understand how certain things work. But for example, now, if someone came to me and said, okay, we're going to expropriate land, here's a 50 hectare farm. Chief, what the hell do I know about farming? I'm a city slicker.
Yeah.
The most I'll do is, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, the most I'll do is probably build something, a property on it. But we do understand the power and property relations and then what value what the value of land is. Bro,
I could go on forever with you because
let me take this mic away. I
feel like you have things to say, but if there's nothing else, I've thoroughly enjoyed this. I wish to do it again.
We definitely will.
I would like to. I mean, I always like hearing opposing views, especially things that I think, if I could speak to someone that thinks differently to me, I can only learn better. Sure. So I like hearing alternative things. I do. It sounds so cheesy when people go, wish you luck on your endeavors. I hope you have I hope you get a bank card, bro. I hope people do you know what Uplang is?
Yeah, I know. It's money under the mattress.
Yeah, bro. That's my vibe. That's my vibe. That Capitec card was.
You're a typical Indian guy. What is this? I thought you were different.
It was lovely to have you, bro.
No, it was an absolute pleasure, man. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate the platform. I appreciate the time. I appreciate what it is that you're doing.
Thank you. If you say the same line that you told MacG, I'm going to be very upset.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's once again, people will, but why did you go into that show? There's a certain, as much as let's say Indian people, the population in the South African space is let's call it 3 million, 2.5, 3 million. As much as Indian people are seen as just like a majority black, they're forgotten. That's just the truth. The way things have been done, the way the society's been set up, and the way it's gone, it's dropped a lot of people by the wayside.
Okay, one last thing before you go.
Yes, sir.
Your shout outs, Doc. You can send all of your shout outs now. Shout out.
Yeah.
I've never done a shout out thing before, but I just wanted to see if you had anybody to shout out.
No, from my side, I'll shout out a few people. I'll shout out my old man. Love you, dog.
Yeah,
fighting.
I'll do. Remember, because when Baba used to come to like Parliament, he used to be like the guy, the hype man. Would come before the singer.
the praise singer.
Shout out Jay-Z, my boy. Keep it going. Hope you miss out on those 2 years, G. But if you do it, take a break, take some few good books. You'll be okay, my man. Sharps. Next shout out. Screws.
No, from my side, no. I was joking. My shout out goes to every young person that exists. Anyone that's listening to this.
Good answer. That's a good answer, bro.
We are going in thick and fast. Change is coming. Change is here. We're getting this thing done. So if people think that this is a joke,
it's not.
It's not.
Okay, and one last thing. This is my last thing, and afterwards I'm going to end. Can you sing some Madonna for me, bro? Please,
What
bro.
are you talking about?
I know you. I saw the video of you singing on a yacht in Dubai. I just want to see if your voice,
some
because I couldn't hear your voice then. I just heard Madonna's voice, but I saw you miming the lyrics. I didn't even know the Madonna song, to be honest. I was very impressed with you. So maybe you can just hit one.
I'm an old school guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm multifaceted, multicultural.
All right, cool, son.
You know what I'm saying?
If you love Kanye, you can be my friend. So, Sharps, lovely having you.
Thank you very much, sir. Good one.
Simmi Areff joins us in studio.
He knows more than you can imagine.
Is President Barack Obama a Muslim?
Because you know it's going to be a zoo.
It was already a zoo.
Did anything happen while I was gone? Haven't you noticed the whole place is on fire?
Let me tell you why you're here.
But they can only speak in question.
Are there side effects? Or?
Just diarrhea.
My first guess is
Simmi.
Knock, knock, who's there, this guy?
Lesser Known Somebodies.